In this video, we're going to talk about why people cannot retire. And in particular, sacrifices that they have to make to retire. Does it make sense? It will. Hopefully it will. Now, it's turning leaves here. It's fall, and it's a beautiful afternoon for a walk. So that's what I'm doing. And I was thinking as I was driving my dogs to the vet the other day. By the way, Cassie came clear with her follow-up. The egg and the bladder infection, all gone. Okay, now let's get back to the video. What it is people are finding they're getting close to 50, 60, and they're looking at their retirement and they don't have it. They just don't have it. They don't have the funds. They don't have the planning. And a lot of it is their own self-induced problems. And this is what I want to talk about mostly today. So I've got my notes, and I had a comment a while back on my channel. And it's about not retiring early. People can't do it. Okay, here's the comment that I got, and I'm just going to read it. I'll put it up on the screen over my face when I'm reading this. People are facing a tough retirement, and it seems even harder for workers to save due to low-paying jobs, inflation, high rents. Now middle-class Americans find it tough to own their homes too, leaving them without a place to retire in. So basically what he's saying is they don't have enough money to retire. And I responded in a certain way that I don't think he particularly cared for. And I don't think that a lot of people will care for this response. And he's right. People are having a tough time. Getting to retirement is not easy. And then these days, and then his name was, I blocked it out. It is hard, but I do have a few questions for the younger people trying to save up for retirement and what they're doing about it. When they do have money, what are they spending it on? A new car? New phones? $2,000 right there. You take that $2,000 for a new phone or a phone upgrade, even though you're paying monthly. If you paid yourself monthly, take that $2,000 and put it in a compound interest account. By the time you retire, you'll have $200,000. I'm just ballparking, but you'll have a huge number over 25 years. So younger people aren't putting their money into that. They're buying the newest, latest, and greatest. Do families really need 2 cars? Do they? My parents had 1 car until I was 17 years old. Dad worked 2 jobs to provide. Mind you, back then it was a little different. The early 60s, mother stayed at home and you could get by. But Dad did the second job for his retirement. The first job was to look after his family. The second job, he took that money and invested it. That's what my dad did. He sacrificed. He worked hard. Are kids doing that nowadays? I don't know. One of my other responses was, who did you vote for? Because it matters. If you vote for a government that's fiscally responsible, generally you do better. Or do you vote for one that puts on debt and increases inflation? So when it comes time to vote, carefully think on which one's going to be beneficial to you. So what else are you spending your money on? McDonald's? I don't know about you, but a family of 4 is probably about $50. You do that for 4 weeks, $200. That's not good. That's $200 you could be saving by making your own hamburgers, right? Are you overspending on Christmas gifts? And I don't want to be a Grinch here or a Scrooge, but really, how much do you spend on Christmas gifts? I'm not telling you don't have Christmas. I'm not telling you not to enjoy Christmas. But really, spirit of Christmas is about being with family and sharing, is it not? It's not about the gifts. Even though they're little kids, don't go overboard. Take that money, save it, invest it. Now I'm going to propose a solution too, right? I'm not just going to give you all the quit spending money talk. A good solution, start when you're young. My son did this. I told him when he went out on his own, I said, Ben, you take 10 to 20% of your take-home pay and put it in an account. And I've said this in other videos. You put it in an account and you let it grow. Once you got a little bit of money, you take it, go to a financial planner, get it into a compound interest account. And that money will slowly grow, and over years it keeps doubling and doubling. The more you put in, the more it'll double, right? So do that. Don't be silly and spend it on things that aren't going to bring you, they'll bring you short-term satisfaction, but they will not give you long-term financial freedom. So is this a little bit of a tough love video? I guess it is. I think it is. It's give your head a shake, young people and older people, if you haven't done this. And I know it's hard to do, especially on the lower end scale of wages and stuff. But you got to put some money away. You got to. And at worst, when you put it away, an emergency comes up, you've got the cash. You don't have to go to your credit cards. You don't have to go to the bank and borrow money. You've got that money there. Now, if you put it into a compound interest, you might not be able to draw it. But if you put it in a tax-free savings account like we have here in Canada, you're free to draw that money. That'll save you money on your credit card. It will just help a lot. The other thing is, if you're going to use those credit cards, pay them off. If your credit cards have piled up and you got 3 or 4 credit cards at $5,000 each, and you're just continually paying on them, you're paying between 18 and 21%, 29% on some cards, like department store cards. Amalgamate them, take out a loan at 4 or 5%, or even 7%, and you're going to pay that much quicker. The only thing is, you got to be disciplined and not use those credit cards till that other thing is paid off. Myself, I had trouble when I was younger with credit cards. I did. Went to the bank, took out a loan. I think back then I was like $7,000 in debt. And I was working and paying rent and by myself, and I was struggling. But I went to the bank, did some thinking, went to the bank, took out a loan. Back then it was like 6% or 5%. Paid it off. Didn't use my credit cards till that money was paid off. And from that point on, and I think I was 20, 21, young and silly. From that point on, that's when I never had a balance on my credit card again. Never. I learned my lesson. Hopefully people can learn a lesson from this particular video. Pay those credit cards off. That's huge. If you have to, put it on your mortgage, because your mortgage interest rate will be lower than the credit card rates. And please, those things are deadly. Those credit cards are deadly. Now, I got out of it and I never went back. I learned my lesson. And it wasn't an easy lesson. It was a hard lesson. For about 1.5 years, I worked every day to pay that thing off. I didn't go out and spend money on restaurants, things like that. I basically, the only membership I had back then was a gym membership, and I'd go to the gym, which was already paid for, and I'd have water and just work out. Or I'd go for a walk. I would do things that didn't cost money. I didn't spend anymore. I just didn't spend. I couldn't spend. And neither should you. So that's just a few things. And in the comments, I want to know what you're doing to save for your retirement. Are you putting money away, 10 to 20% of your take-home pay? Do you have an employer with a pension? Most people don't, unless you work for the government, whether it's civic, federal, or provincial, or state in the States. Those are the only ones that seem to have pensions. Some companies have contributory. If they have that and you have that in your company, maximize your pay on that. Contribute as much as you can, because a lot of employers match that contribution or half of that contribution. So you're making money on money. And when you retire from that company, you get that money back that you put into it, plus half or even full. Some are 1-to-1, some are like half. It depends on the company, right? Take advantage of those opportunities. If the company that you work for, if you're younger and you want to go to school, does the company help with your education? Now, I know that Starbucks, for one, does. So as a part-time job, why not work at Starbucks? Or any company that offers some kind of help with your education. Use all these tools that are available. Get scholarships if you're younger and going to school. But you got to bear down and you got to be disciplined. But that's the way you make it. And yes, it's sacrifice. It is sacrifice. I sacrificed 1.5 years of my life to pay off those credit cards. And once they were paid, I've never had a credit card debt in my life. Even right now, what I do is I save toonies and loonies. In Canada, we got a loonie, which is $1 basically, and a toonie is $2. And I put it in a jar. And when that jar gets to be $100, just from my change, when that jar becomes $100, I take it to the bank and I take my wife out for a really nice dinner. But I save for it. Doesn't happen every month. I don't get $100 worth of change every month. Every 3 or 4 months though, yeah, I got enough change there to do that. So you can do these things. Think and save and be disciplined with your money. Don't think that you have to do what everybody else is doing. I look down the street and I've got a neighbor. He's got 2 kids. He's got 2 kids. He's got 4 cars, okay, a truck, an SUV, and 2 cars, 2 Sea-Doos, and a boat. All summer that boat has been sitting there. It's costing him money. He's losing money. Sells the boat, gets 15 grand for it, put that into an investment. He won't even have to worry about creating a retirement. He will have to worry. I'm being facetious a little bit, but he won't have to, excuse me, bug. He won't have to worry as much. That 15 grand for the sale of the boat, he's got 2 Sea-Doos, he still could go out, or sell the 2 Sea-Doos, either way. When he sells the 2 Sea-Doos or the boat and takes that money and invests it, by the time his young family is old and he's old, he'll have a couple $100 grand towards his pension. Just be smart about it. Does he need all those cars? Does he need the boats? Do you need them? If you can afford them, sure, why not? But we're talking about people that are struggling to get to even think about retirement. Hopefully these things help get you to the retirement thought process anyway. Check out this video or this video, and let's call this one done.